Hey, what's up, TruExperience Nation? Welcome to the page. If you're new around here, we thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Richie McCaney. My wife is Amanda. And look, our goal, our mission, our drive is to help you experience your best life as we're learning to do ours. We go over information, we share what's working for us, we share what we struggled with so we can help you do the same thing. If that's something you vibe with, you like, you want to get down with, my suggestion would be to like the page and follow it and hit the notification bell because I go live every single day. Also, these videos normally end up on YouTube. You can go over to YouTube and check it out and subscribe over there as well. And guys, today we're going to talk about how long it takes to form a habit. I'm going to go ahead and tell you some kids are going to run through here because I'm a stay-at-home parent. All right? Things get crazy. They just got out of school. Just ignore it. But today we're going to talk about how long it takes to form a habit. People ask always, I'm going to tell you, it is not how long you think it is. You hear all kinds of stuff. And we're going to get in exactly to what that is and the basics for that. But let me start out with a story that they had in this book that was pretty interesting. And that was a story of a teacher who broke the class up into two groups. One group was, hey, you're going to get an A based off quantity. And the other group was going to get a grade based off quality. The quantity group was simple. Hey, to get an A, get 100 photos, whatever. To get a B, it's 90 to whatever. And like they just broke down the number of photos. Didn't matter about the quality, didn't matter what they look like, just get to the number of photos. The quality, they only had to submit one, but it had to be a near perfect picture in order to get an A. And I don't know what that is, composition, lighting, whatever, what all that stuff is. Well, hold on one second. That's my people. Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
Oh, let me kiss. I'm live.
Hello.
Say hey. Yep. Hope you had a good day at school. I'll be up there in a minute to talk. Where's the little one at? Oh, okay. Shut that door, please. That's fine. Anyway. So there were two different groups, quality and quantity. Here's what they found out. Well, at the end of the term, the kids who had to do the quality group did not produce the best photo. The people who did the higher number of photos had near perfect images. The best images came from them. But you know why? Because they were in action, not in motion. This is huge. Like, this is awesome, bro. Listen to this. See, the team that wanted to do quality, they was in motion. They were strategizing, planning, theorizing. The awesome line here was like, they ended up, yeah, here it is. I just want to read it. I want to get it right. All right, in the process of creating hundreds of photos, they honed their skills. Meanwhile, the quality group sat around speculating about perfection. In the end, they had little to show for their efforts other than unverified theories. So, unverified theories and one mediocre photo. We don't want mediocrity. We've talked about it at length. And so basically, one was in action, one was in motion. How many times have we done that in regards to habits? Like we sit around thinking about the perfect system, the perfect way to do things or to create a new habit or whatever and, get organized and all that. But we don't cover no ground. Shut the door, son, please. No, what are you doing? Just go up there and shut the door. I'll be up here in a second. Thank you. I apologize. This is my life, baby. That's what it is, and I love it. I cherish it. Isn't it a great thing that I can sit at home and make extra money with my family running around? I personally think it's awesome. Anyway, that's the difference. And when they said this, I was like, yo, man, you're focused on figuring out the best approach and you don't ever get around to the action. That's the difference between motion and action. So now let's get in. What is habit formation anyway? It's simply the process of repeating a behavior until it becomes automatic. Repetition. And that happens through repetition. See, the class that was taking all the photos, guess what? Because they were taking photos and playing around and experimenting and in action, they figured out lighting composition and the thirds and do they like this or they look like that. And they figured out their process of taking a good photo because they were just taking photos as opposed to theorizing about what a good photo is. And so that's what habit formation is. It's the process where behaviors become progressively more automatic through repetition. That was the definition in the book. And so through that, what I want to say is your brain actually gets larger based off what it is you're doing when it comes to habits. So in here, they have something where it's called where neurons that fire together wire together. Repetition actually leads to physical change in the brain. So they did a study. They took like a mathematician. They had more gray matter in their space, which is something that's in the brain that helps you, calculate problems faster or better or whatever. Okay. They found out the people who were mathematicians had more gray matter. The more older and more experienced you were, the more gray matter you had. Also, the same would be said with some scientific word in the brain about memory. So they took and polled taxi drivers. They ran this test on them, and they had their brain was larger in the section that had to do with memory because they were taxi drivers. They had to remember stuff and addresses. Here's what was funny. When they retired, that part of the brain started to shrink. It's just like muscles, man. The brain is a muscle. It's just like a muscle, bro. Got to get the reps in. This is basically what we're talking about. We're on the third law of behavior change, and that is to make it easy. You got to make it easy to get your reps in. When your body works out and you're pumping up muscles, what happens when you quit working out and you stop working out, stop lifting weights? Well, over time, your muscles shrink. It's the same way with the brain and habits. You literally have to form grooves in your brain. Your brain changes based off the more activity you do with that with. So they did the same thing with musicians. And they found out that there were certain neurological tracks. The more they played an instrument, the more that track got defined. Example, people ask about how long it takes to form a habit when they should be asking how many reps. It's not necessarily about time, it's about how much. Think about trying to form a track out there on a bike in the grass, on a little bike track. You got grass growing up everywhere. And it's difficult. It's challenging at first because it's not natural to you. The grooves, the brain is not even firing up. There's resistance there. So when the first time you make a path on a bicycle, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to pedal. Here's the difference between reps and time. The more you go on that exact same path, the more that path gets wore out, the easier and more automatic it becomes. Here's the deal. You can go out one time today, make one pass. You can go out tomorrow, make one pass. Or you can make 1,000 passes in one day. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you can make your path worn out in 3 days, or you can make it happen in a year. Just depends on how many reps you get in. It was kind of eye-opening when I started hearing that. It's not about, habit form is about frequency, not how long. So they had this cool little diagram about the habit line, and starting here, the more repetitions you put in, the higher you got to the habit line. Our goal is to make it automatic, to make it easier. This should make you feel free because you don't have to have everything figured out. All you got to do is put yourself in motion, put yourself in action. Put yourself in action, not motion, where you just do it. Your brain will naturally start to adapt and log the most efficient way to do that behavior. You're programmed to do that. The more you do, the quicker your brain will identify the most efficient way. The more it can do it on automatic and move it from conscious thought to almost subconscious thought where it just happens. That's the goal. That's what we want to go for. Okay. And in order to build a habit, so this is the last point I want to make. So to build a habit takes practice. The best way to practice is to make it attractive. That's the third law of behavior change. That's what we're going to talk about. Guys, if you're just tuning in, again, we've been talking about the cue. We've talked about the cravings and the desire, and now we are on to the actual response. That's the habit. This is the third law of behavior change, and we want to make practice easy. We already notice it because we did the cue. We make it desirable. We make it attractive, so we want to do it more. And now we're going to make it easy. The easier it is to practice, the easier it is for us to form a habit. That's what we're going to be talking about now, and that's what we're going to dive into really hardcore tomorrow. The law of least effort. That sounds appealing to me. I don't want extraordinary effort. I want the least amount of effort I can to get the results that I want. We all do. Okay? Path of least resistance. So let's make that least resistance the most effective. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I hope you liked this and I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this kind of stuff, go ahead and drop a like, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Have you ever tried to form a habit and not make it stick? I did a personal best today. I'm 120 days in on a habit. 121. My past record was 120. I'm 121. Feels great. And so I just wanted to share that. If you like that kind of stuff, make sure to tune in tomorrow. So until tomorrow, I'm out.